Hey, don't mess with that. Hey there. Nielsen, hey, drinks. Drink. Hey. Don't lick it. We're back. I know I said this was going to be a drawing video. But I was thinking, and I just had to get the thoughts out. So here we are. And this is partly going to be a little psychoanalytical of myself, but also directed towards you, the viewer. For the very few, but very important that there are, you know. Important for me, for sure. Just because, like, even seeing, like, five views, or I think the most, my dog's playing with a toy. What are you doing, huh? Right now? Right now? We should be in bed. It's way too late to be recording this, and you know that. Anyway. You know, even just seeing, like, I think my most viewed video has, like, 14 views. And that's even crazy to me. Like, I probably don't even talk to 14 people throughout the day. So just the fact that 14 people have seen that, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, basically what was going through my head was, I'm wrestling with the idea of, like, what even, not what even, but, like, why I'm even going through, I wouldn't really call it trouble, but really the process of, like, you know, that self-transformation, like that spiritual development kind of stuff. And it's like, I think the humble part of me, and maybe not even humble, maybe just like, I don't know what part of me, it tells myself that, like, you know, I'm not looking to change the world. But I think in reality, I think most people, you know, have the desire to change the world in some way. And I think that's what a lot of this is. You know, I gotta get better at looking at the camera. It's gonna go right here. And you're gonna relax. Okay? Maybe I'll give you a treat or something if you chill out. I know you want to play. Give me, like, I'm already 3.5 minutes in. Holy shit. Yeah, good girl. Thank you. Relax. We'll play in like 5 minutes. Or 10, or however long this takes. I don't know. Sorry. Woo. Anyway. Yeah, it's like, I think I'm lying to myself if I say that I don't want to change the world. And so I'm trying to orient that thinking in the right way, you know? Like, I don't want to be like some sort of, like, spiritual leader or anything like that. Like, I don't want people to follow, you know? And I think that's, like, you know, if you're watching this, I think you kind of think the same thing. You know, I don't think you would really find some random video like this if you weren't looking for a narrative like this. Hey there. And so, Jesus. And so, you know, I think the way I want to orient it is more of like essentially like a shaman kind of thing. Like, and I guess those were like kind of, especially in, like, you know, the civilizations of old, they were leaders in a way, but they weren't the kings, they weren't the people in power, but they were the people with knowledge. And I think that's what I'm striving to be, because I do, like, in a way, I want to lead people to who they are. you know. And I was watching this video. Oh, I can't remember who it was, but he has some really cool stuff. I'll find it and I'll put his name in the description or his channel name. But what was it? Oh, one of the video I was watching was like essentially just like increasing your self-esteem, which is something that I've struggled with for a while, and I've definitely had like a much better outlook on myself recently. And it's because it's like it's hard to ignore the successful aspects of my life because I'm living them. Like I'm the center of all of those things. It's not like achievements that have happened in the past and I look back on them. It's like where I am right now is I have something in my eye. Where I am right now is amazing, you know. And it's something I've been like looking forward to for a long time because I'm in art school and I'm like, you know, pursuing a dream that I've wanted to pursue for a long time, but it never felt like it was never really an aspiration. It was just like it was just something that I looked forward to, like it was going to happen, and now here we are. Like I don't even really know how I ended up here, but I know it's where I'm supposed to be, you know. And so I think that's incredible in and of itself. But I think what I was really trying to get at is, and I hope I'm talking loud enough for this. I think I am. But, you know, what I'm trying to get at is essentially like, you know, I don't want to lead people into a specific way of thinking. I just want to lead people into thinking, you know, like in general. And everybody thinks differently. Obviously, that's not very true in the modern world, you know, where there's a lot of collective but divided opinions. And it's, you know, I go to a liberal school, and I don't really fall on either side of the political spectrum, and I choose not to, because it is like you're living in a divide, essentially. Like you think you're on one side of the spectrum, but you're in the ravine that the earthquake created, really. And you got to get out, because when you get out, you can actually see both sides, you know. And I just want people to think for themselves, you know, because that's really all it is. That's really all anything is just thinking for yourself. Because if you can do that, then you know what you want. Because only you know what you want. And if you can't think for yourself, then how can you know what you want? You know? I feel like that makes sense in my head. And so I just want people to see that, you know, like you don't have to abide by these arbitrary like social rules that people have set before you because that's just what you're told to do, or that's what makes sense, or that's just what people do. And like what people do all kinds of crazy shit. Like what do you like? I don't even really understand how like. I mean, I guess I can kind of understand. It's kind of like the same way religion works, and like a lot of it's just geographic. Like I was born in the southern part of the United States in Tennessee, and so it's predominantly Republican. But the farther north you go, and you know, a lot of that has to do with like the history of the United States, of course. But and you know, it's like the farther north you go, the more blue it gets. And so it's like a geographic way of thinking, like, or I guess you could say culturally. But it's like the same way religion works. Like, you know, you're more likely to be born a Christian if you're from, you know, I'd say the western part of the world, but it is also the largest religion in the world. I think it has about like 2.2 billion followers, which is crazy. That's like 25% of the world's population. That's insane. That's a lot of people. And so obviously it's very like diverse and widespread, but it's still like, if you're born in the Middle East, you're more than likely to be Muslim. And so for like the Christians, like how do you really, like how can you tell yourself that those people are going to go to hell when they didn't have a choice in the religion that they grew up in, you know? And it's, I'm not here to make that argument. I'm just saying that that's like one of the big questions I have, you know. That's a big one, for sure. And I'm not saying I'm atheist either, you know. I think I believe in a God. I want to say I do. But I'm not sure. That's a big commitment, you know. And it's like, committing to a relationship like that is hard for me because like, and maybe this is like a fault in my own like perception, but it's hard to like ground that kind of commitment into something that you don't even know exists. And it's like when you're in like a romantic relationship, like for the most part you can I mean there's obviously secrets and all kinds of things that go on in romantic relationships, but for the most part like you can ground your understanding of your partner in the physical world because you know they're part of your life, they're part of like your day-to-day being, you know. And so it's like the commitment to that kind of thing is, I'm not going to say easier for me because I've struggled with that stuff in the past too, but it is easier because it's there, you know. But yeah, I'm not, I don't want to be a spiritual leader. I don't like the word leader, you know, because I feel like when you're leading, you're heading towards a specific destination, you know. Maybe a guide, you know, like here's a map, and you're free to traverse this land as you see fit. And, you know, here's information and knowledge and other things that'll be helpful. But at the end of the day, I don't know where you're going to end up. That's for you to decide. And I think that's how it should be, you know. And that's how I want it to be. And so, if you're watching this, understand that a lot of the stuff everything that I say, not a lot, everything, is based in my own subjective thoughts and feelings. And you may not agree with them, that's okay. And you may think this video is shit, and that's okay. That's you thinking for yourself. And so I can't be mad about that. And I won't ever be mad about that. And if you're looking for someone to follow, then this isn't the place. And, you know, if this isn't the place, then, like, feel free to stop watching. Like, it's not going to hurt my feelings, and it'll only be better for you. Because we're holding two different maps, you know. I can't point you in the right direction if we're not looking at the same places. Oh, there it is again, pointing you in the right direction. What is the right direction? Who am I to say? I don't know why I'm getting like stressed about this shit. It's not stress, but it's like, I don't know, maybe that was like a sigh of relief, you know. I feel like it kind of was. But it didn't feel that way. Hey there. Hey, come here. Come on. Up. Tricks. Don't be like, come here. Come here. Just for a minute. Yeah, I'll play with you in just a minute. Don't worry. You just gotta say hi. Hello. Hello. My name's Trixie. I eat cat poop. She does eat cat poop. She does. Look at that. That's a guilty face. Mm-hmm. But anyway, you know, I just wanted to talk into the mic. It actually felt good. I think I'm getting better at this. I gotta clean my apartment though. But it is late and I do have to go to bed, so that's a tomorrow problem. No, that's a tomorrow task. An improvement task. A task that will better my life. Right? Right? Boom. Boom. Look at that pitiful paw. Boom. Oh, now you're trying to flex it out like you're all strong, huh? Mm-hmm. Anyway. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. And so, essentially, you know, I just hope by, like, me expressing my thoughts and feelings and attempting to be as genuine as possible and congruent as possible. Because that was I think that was a big part of, like, the idea in that video I mentioned earlier. And I'll put his name in the description. Or the name of the channel. I don't know the guy's name. But, oh Lord. I just ate a ton of peanut butter. But, yeah, so I'm trying to be as genuine and congruent as possible. So that way you can be as genuine and congruent in your thinking and action as possible, you know? And I think that's all it is. And then you can take that and use it to better your life in whatever way your life needs to be improved. Because I think we have to always look at our lives as, like, in a way, what we can improve, but not necessarily from, like, a physical standpoint. Not saying that money is bad or anything like that, or, like, the physical well-being of our environment, our direct environment, is bad. That's definitely a necessity. Like, but it all starts up here. In the dome. In the dome. Right, Tricks? Uh-huh. What you trying to get all up in the mic for? Trying to take my thunder? Huh? But anyway. Sending you my energy. And I'm receiving yours as well. So thank you. And I think it's playtime. So we got to play with this dog before we go to bed. So I'll see you guys in the next one. It better be a drawing video. It better, not that it, blah, 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 you know what I mean. It may be one of these, but there will be a drawing video coming soon. And I'll like more than likely voice over it with some sort of, like, narrative like this. But yeah. Peace. Alright, Tricks. You gotta get, I know you just laid down, but you gotta get up for a second. Have a good one.